Take all dust them all, put them back up on the shelf. Guess my little baby girl is in me. Am I coming out left? Ooh, I'm a rebel just a fix now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might be over now, but I'm feeling still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just a fix now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I'm feeling still. Got another mouth to feed. People with the babysitter, mama, papa, grave digger. Gone with the falling leaves. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Wanna hide your pill, but you're feeling still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I'm feeling still. Is it coming? 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 Is it coming now? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks. Say your love is in a bitch for my heart to be quenched now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Might have had your fill, but you feel it still. Somebody to know, somebody to hold, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way it numbs all the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love. I'm going under, and this time of year there's no one to turn to. This all and nothing way of loving got me sleeping.
feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I can't tell where the journey went, but I know where to start.
Robbie!
Thank you all so much.
Hi Waverly, it was great to see you. Thank you so much for sending a video. If we can't do something live, hopefully this is something that can really help take your already good show and maybe just push it a little bit further, because you're at that time of year where you've already learned the show, you've done the hard work, so now the fun part is what else can we do with it? So I'm going to try to give you some ideas about that. When I get done watching a show, whether it's live or on a video, I usually just kind of think, okay, what did they bring to the stage? What do I remember about that group? And the pluses that I see is you've got a lot of really good singers. There's a really good choral sound going on here. The choreography, for the most part, is really quite clean. And then a lot of good soloists and duets in here. There's a lot of good things happening in this group. Some challenges and some things that I would like to address. There's some pictures and spacing issues that we can do, and I might make some suggestions. Again, I'm not your boss, so if what I say doesn't work for you, that's fine. But if there's a few things that I throw out there that will help, great. I want to see you push the attitude of every song a little bit and then define what it is and take us on a journey so that this song feels different than this song. And then just building in some variety within the songs. I kind of think that every song should have what I call an aha moment, that like some moment where, you know, the audience isn't going to remember your whole show, but it'd be nice if they remember, oh, you remember, wasn't it cool in that first song when they did this? So there's moments that you can build in all these songs that are memorable. But let's dig in. So Everybody Talks, great opener, fun. I want to see your attitude. This is not a serious song. So I want to see the attitude in your choreography. Couple of examples. So there's a moment where the guys go to their knees and they're singing the Hey Baby, and it looks like this. hey baby, da 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 da. I want to see, hey baby, this way, and just have fun with it. Just get the head moving, all that. Girls, there's a moment where you're doing little sidestep kinds of things, and you're just being too careful. You're doing this, and then you have a little this kind of thing. I want to see this, this, and this. Just make it crazy, make it fun, take it further. The choreography is so stylistically perfect that it works. I'd take the whole song faster. My experience in my 47 years of show choir is that show choir tempos are almost always faster than the original. It's just because you have to add choreography to it. What if this song were, instead of hey baby da, it was hey baby da 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 da. Think about your choreography and how much fun it would be at that tempo. It might go off the rails at first, but I think it would be really fun to see this thing just crank up and just be a little bit faster. I think there's a couple things in this first, and I think in a first song you want to show off as much of what you can do as possible. You show that you have good singers, the band is good, you show that you can do choreography. We talked about trying to put more attitude into it. I try to build a couple more dynamics in early, because if you can layer all this stuff in the first 45 seconds or a minute of your show, then we know, oh wow, this group's going to be really, really entertaining. I think there's a dynamic possibility of each time you do that, I can feel the chit chat. It'd be kind of fun if that pulled way back and then crescendoed. You could do it every time or maybe just one time as a surprise, but try to find, there's kind of a rule of 3 in my book. If you've done something 2 times already, the third time's got to be something different, or maybe the second. Find a dynamic there, but I felt like I could feel the chit chat would be kind of a fun way to pull back and then get going. I wrote we need a picture change. I felt like it got stuck kind of in the same area where men are middle, girls are on both sides.
I wrote the same thing.
Yeah, and I think that, it could be something as simple as you have more females than males. What if it was row of girls, then guys in the window, then a row of girls across the top? Or what if it was a big bowling pin kind of arrangement of girls in the middle with guys on a V on the outside? I just want to see you be a little more creative with how you give us pictures, but I felt like in that first song is like, okay, I need to see something different. Show choir is kind of a short attention span theater thing, so you've got to keep it moving and keep it changing. I just wanted a different picture change, and I don't even think you have to change your choreography. The nice thing is you could do the same choreography in a different picture, and it looks a little different to us, and it's a cheap and easy way to just build in variety. Second song, great solo. Again, the picture kind of starts to look the same, so I would experiment with drawing in something different. And that's kind of fun. Right now you've done the show. Let's do something different. I know directors of big programs who just change a dance break the week of a contest because it gives their kids energy. And you guys are talented. You can do some changes like that. But I would look at something different there. I wrote, do a crescendo on the words, is it coming? This isn't going to make any sense to me because I don't remember the song. This is why I wish we were live. And then soft on I'm a Rebel, which when you're down on the knees. I hope that makes sense, but I just felt like as I watched it, I thought, ooh, that might be another way to do something different. I wrote at some point, maybe the men, just for something different, could be jackets off at some point in this show, just to give you a different look. It adds a whole new layer of, okay, how are we going to get them off and what are we going to do? But you don't need to do a costume change, but sometimes that's a quick way to just give the whole thing a different look. Really nice duets in the ballad. I wrote this picture has no windows, exclamation mark. When your spacing is generally pretty good and then it gets kind of wonky. That ballad looked to me like everybody was just up there and I didn't see any sense to what the picture was. Maybe it was just me, but I'd take a look at that. Not everything has to be symmetrical, but in general it tends to look better when it is, especially in show choir. Wondering if the second duet, instead of meeting in the middle, what happens if the second duet goes to the outsides? So you've already had 2 center, but now we bring 2 more center. What if the second duet is opposite sides of the group? I don't know if you had mics set up out there, but it might be something interesting and different, because then you can have them and you can frame the group in a little bit different way. Attitude in this song, in the ballad, sometimes we get to ballads and it's just a slow song and probably sad, but what I find is very often the song isn't sad at all, or maybe sad is the wrong word. Maybe the song is we're desperate or we're yearning or we're frustrated or something like that. I think get a different mental image because it just starts to look this way. It starts to look sad or disappointed or something. And I want you to you're good enough to where think of a different attitude that will give you more physical energy and more power. I don't know the answer to that, but I wrote down, are we hurt? Are we desperate? Rather than just, oh, it's a sad song. Okay? And the fourth song, I wrote great duets. I wrote, yay, picture. I don't know what it was, but it must have been a really nice design of picture there. Dance break. I wrote, bring the piano up. Oh, I know what it was. The piano part seems to play the same thing all the way through this song. What if on the dance break we go up an octave and just do something, just build a different sound in there? Because if you're not going to, you don't have to have a 20-piece band back there. You can create some different feel with that. And I think just something to change up the accompaniment would feel good during the dance breaks. Build a bigger crescendo in everything during that final section. And then I think one choreography thing I would do, you've got some roll-offs, some contagion kinds of things happening in this song, and we've got to make sure we define those counts better. And so, if it's kind of I'm going to make something up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got to make sure everybody's really clear on those numbers. And you've probably done this before. But then what happens, you get 1, 2, then 1, 2, then 1, 2 in groups. And invariably, the last group starts to cheat towards the end and it starts to fall apart. And that's what I felt. It was kind of getting to the outsides and then it was kind of not as strong. So I even have my groups practice it counting, and I have them see who can count the loudest. I mean, just so that I know that each individual group is super clear on where their counts are. I know you probably know this, but the fact that I saw it and it just didn't look clean means that we got to go back and revisit that and take a look at it. So that would be a big moment because it's towards the end of the show. It's a cool choreography moment, but now that you know your show, you don't have to rehearse the whole thing all the time. You can pick on these moments and just make them better. So I challenge you, first song, make it more fun. Try it faster and just get goofier. Then that last number, work on the roll-off. Make sure that looks super clean. Build some dynamics in, and then really define your attitude on the ballad so it doesn't just lose energy and seem sad.
All right. Well, hello, Waverly. Over the last few years, I've seen your show choir several times, and I always love watching your show choir. And your director, Miss Kornfeld, is one of my good friends, and she's crazy, and I hope you appreciate her, because and I'm so proud of how Waverly has now come into the new show choir world, and you're really doing the new show choir choreography and making it work. So keep doing on that. I'm going to give you just a few things. Everything that Joel says is just golden. I've got a few more things that I'd like to add. I wrote down that you started with a whisper in the first song. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And I would say, look at that for your whole show. Can you find those moments that draw us in? And I talk about this in my workshop, the video workshop that we're sending to you, about when you go to, when your dynamics go really low, that your dynamics are pianissimo, but your diction becomes forte. And so really think about that. I do want to demonstrate a foot thing. So I talk about this in my workshop as well. One of the things that I am just a policeman about in show choir choreography is your feet when you are kicking. And I think you do a step that goes kick, kick, pas de bourrée. And I remember watching the video, and the feet are very floppy. Flop, flop, step, 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 flop, flop. And what you need to do is slow it down when you're practicing it and make sure it is always point, point, step, 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 point, point. And you'll get rid of that floppiness, and it will clean that choreography up right away. That's in the first song. So, also, there's a point in that first song where the men sing by themselves, and it's low enough in a male register that we lose most of it. And so I would suggest double that at the octave. Let the tenors take it up the octave. Or if that doesn't work, add altos to it at the octave and get that sound out. Because it's just, that's why there are no basses on Broadway. It just, those low notes do not carry out like something that's up in the upper register. Now, if you've got guys that can send that sound out, do it. That's great. And my biggest criticism in your first song is I started and circled it, which means make sure you talk about this. Don't let the energy wane between moves. So you're doing great choreography and it's high energy, and I remember that there's great energy, but it kind of, if I was graphing it, it's like here, 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 and then it goes down and then it comes back. And try to get rid of those down places. Keep that energy up here so that it never goes down very far, but you're really pushing through everything. And that's hard because the choreography gives you natural energy, but it's transitioning from one move to the next that you got to put that energy in there. And I know you can do it. I so agree with what Joel said. What I wrote down by the second one, your positions have stayed way too static and similar all throughout. And we are now a society that on television, they change the camera shot every 3 seconds now. So we cannot stay in one place for a song or even half a song. You've got to change a little bit more. And you can't do too much. It's a fine line. On the third song, the singing has been really good throughout. But I wrote on the third song, really work to get that balance. I felt like sopranos are too quiet and the tenors are too present. So I would really check that so we can really hear the melody. On Wake Me Up, the only thing I have is just really clean up that arm choreography. And I think part of it is what Joel was addressing with the contagion, but just make sure everybody's arms are doing the same thing. You're too good a group to not. Those are some easy fixes. And I know it's early and this is a crazy year, so everything we say is with that little asterisk of COVID year. But first of all, congratulations for putting this show together. And I hope you guys will come and visit us next year on campus so that we can actually get up and work with your group doing these kind of things, and then send you off with some of our students to really explore some of these changes. But I say hello. I can't wait to see you guys in person again and keep doing good stuff.